Om Shanti. Good morning, everyone. Hope my voice is audible.
Yes.
Okay, thanks for confirming, Rakiban. So, good morning, everyone, and we are back to in the Avik Murli session. And today, that it is Sunday, we are very fortunate that we have a special guest of within us, a special child of Bap Dada, Sister Kavita Behan from Mumbai Borivali. So we invite her to this group. As you might be every day, and Avyakt Murli right from 1969 until we'll go up to 2017. We have already completed this journey once, and now we are doing it the second time. At present, we are reading the Murlis dated 1977. So, Didi, just to introduce Didi for all those who might not be aware, Kavita Didi is a senior Rajyoga teacher and has been associated with Brahma Kumaris since last 26 years. She has dedicated her life to Brahma Kumaris since last 20 years, and at present she's serving at Borivali zone of Mumbai, Borivali East, Prabhu 1. It's a beautiful building, and she does seva with Divya Didi. She's also national coordinator of the Transport and Travel Wing of Rajyoga Education and Research Foundation. Over so many years, she has been conducting various sessions and benefited more than thousands, probably lakh of individuals in colleges, in offices, in industry, and to public in general. She has also visited various countries like the Switzerland, UK, UAE, souls over there. Apart from spirituality, she has also got keen interest in graphic designing and all tech related stuff because of her background. So, sister, we invite you to this group, and we have a very special topic she would be unfolding, that is on enhancing the soul consciousness stage. ESC, if there must have anybody who has focused on the flyer, so escaping body consciousness and getting closer to the soul consciousness stage. So I believe everybody of us will be practicing. Baba keeps on telling us day in, day out, but Didi, how do you practice stage? How can you elevate stage more quickly in a better way so that Father very soon? So over Om Shanti and welcome once again. Thank you.
Thank you, Praful Bhai, for the invitation, and good morning to one and all. And, yes, going back to the basics, soul consciousness is a subject which is very, what do you say, very deep to the core of the heart, to the base of our spiritual practice, because all our efforts, all our love for Baba, all our spiritual progress is somewhere rooted in this sense of soul consciousness. So, and yes, as brother rightly mentioned, going back to the ESC, the escape route. So that's the route from which we escape the multi-million obstacles that Maya can create. Because once we go within, that is a point beyond the reach of Maya. And it is so interesting that though we've been years and years, and many of us, since as you shared, you've already studied so many Murlis and you're into round 2. So years and years of spiritual knowledge and years and years of spiritual practice. And still we need to focus on the fundamental. We focus on the first step of soul consciousness. And the beauty of Gyan is to understand soul consciousness, to read about soul consciousness, to speak about soul consciousness is still so very different from actually practicing soul consciousness, because practice takes us to a different zone, completely different zone. And today, I would share some insights or some of those aha moments or some of those flashes of illumination which we experience during the spiritual journey. A gift which just seems to come along and embrace you and just be with you for a long part of your spiritual journey henceforth. So practicing soul consciousness is something which I hold very dear to my heart and becomes a constant practice of the Purusharth or the spiritual endeavors that we undertake. I undertake especially. So connecting with Baba is one, but it's founded in soul consciousness. So I'll always have this vision of being one with Baba. And we understand with knowledge, it's not that the soul will merge into Baba. I will remain my identity. Baba is the supreme identity, but just a point-to-point connection, which shows as one. So when we connect 2 points, just it's like one. So for me, the practice of soul consciousness has been becoming one with Baba. One, not just in the connection, one, not just that, I'm remembering Baba, but I always think that let me be one in the vibration with Baba. So soul consciousness is the effort where I allow Baba's vibration to elevate my vibration and reach that stage of being one, being similar to Baba. And this is then practiced throughout the day. It begins with the morning meditation, certainly, but then it carries on through the day. So a few things like if we begin a day with a morning walk or some brisk morning activity, physical activity like exercise or stretches or any morning activity. So at that time, how do we practice soul consciousness? So those who are good at understanding the physical body, I've learned from someone shared that the body also has its own energy centers, and the navel being the energy center of the body. So during that practice, I have like, okay, here is the spiritual energy center for the body. The navel is the physical energy center, the center of balance for the body. And then right up above is Baba. So aligning the physical energy center, the spiritual energy center, and the supreme center of energy. And that is how the morning routine begins. And it is such a splendid experience in itself. Like even I generally go for a morning walk. This is the time where I'm out for a walk mostly. So it's such a beautiful experience that Baba's connecting and connected to the soul. And all that I am receiving from Baba is also radiated through the entire physical body, which would help in good health, which would help the body to be active for Baba's services, which will help me to be more energetic throughout my day. So aligning the energy centers of the body, the mind, and obviously Baba has really helped me to begin my day with a lot of spiritual energy as such after the Amrit Vela meditations. So this has been a practice of soul consciousness. This has been an implementation. And there are times where this has just given me the feeling of bliss, the feeling of being Trilokinath, and different, like, the feeling of being so stable, so balanced. Like it helps me to see the bigger picture, to just go beyond. Sometimes when we walk, we tend to measure kilometers. It's a 2 kilometer, 4 kilometer, 6 kilometer walk. But this practice has enabled me to see that I've just been at my center. So the physical distance that is traveled or the physical displacement that takes place, soul consciousness has helped me to just be beyond and be connected to the one, and has really given a very elevated feeling, a very good, pure, energetic feeling to the morning routines that I practice. Continuing with the activities through the day, One of the another important physical activity or something that we do physically through the day where we use the body, the organs is whilst we eat or whilst we drink. And at times, this is the time when soul consciousness really becomes a challenge. Many of us may have realized that these are the times when the physical organs are the taste buds are so active that it's easy to slip into body consciousness. We've heard Murli's and Brahma Baba himself sharing his experience that when I begin to eat, it's in Baba's remembrance. But as I progress, as I move along, then the feeling is there is a chance of distraction, of forgetting, and the remembrance not being as constant. And as with Brahma Baba, so with Baba's children, it does happen. No matter how much ever attention and focus we have, the inner will is there. But eating is a time when the body, because we are purely using the sense organs, so there is a high chances of the soul consciousness being drifted away from soul consciousness. But of late, recently, since recent times, I've been just trying to practice and practicing it rather. It's still not become my own, but yeah, it's been a beautiful effort. Like when we've seen the dadis offer bhog to Bap Dada. So that scene, that vision, that just comes to mind. And I consciously bring it to mind when I'm there for my meal, that how do dadis offer bhog to Bap Dada? What are Baba's expressions as Baba receives the bhog? It's just like, he's receiving it, but no attraction to taste or nothing, no changes on the expression, the facial expression. So this is a thing which I have been practicing of late, that I'm not eating, but me, the soul, the master of this physical body, is offering bhog to this wonderful instrument of service. So this distance, this detachment has really helped me to have good feelings, good experiences when we are having food through the day. And I'm not eating, but I'm offering bhog to this wonderful instrument of service. This shift in consciousness has helped me to be more patient with my meals, more soul conscious with my meals. And it's been a beautiful experience in itself. So however the soul relates with the body is very important in my entire feeling of being soul consciousness, about how constantly aware I am about using the body in its various means, in its various ways, and doing it. So these were a couple of examples while doing physical activities, while offering food to the body, how the change in consciousness changes the entire experience, maybe of the physical activity or maybe of the eating activity, because these are necessary physical routines that we go through. And this would also be helpful while the body is at rest. And this consciousness of how I allow the body to rest, and I also detach and connect with Baba. So these are some of the essential physical routines where soul consciousness helps. Recently, we had this the transport wing program for World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims last Sunday, in fact, the UN Day. And I was just working on a flyer for that. And I happened to come across a very beautiful statement, and obviously we customize it with our understanding of knowledge. And we just mentioned that on the flyer for this remembrance event as well. It was for the victims of road traffic accidents. So the line read thus, it read, "To live in the hearts we leave behind is eternity." To live in the hearts we leave behind is eternity. And it was such a heart-touching, soul-touching, statement of how we carry ourselves through our interactions with the people we meet, and how with soul consciousness, with the exchange of the highest energy, with the exchange of God's vibration with the souls with whom we are meeting, we can really leave an impression which stays with them, a sense of good feeling which stays with the souls even longer than the time that we are working together physically. We are physically in the same environment, and working is a small span of time, short span of time. But then the impression that we leave would help them to really be in that sense of good feeling, even when we are not physically present in the same time. So very beautiful, like how can we live in the hearts of people we've left behind? And this also reminded me of the Dadis. I mean, the yajna has been progressing, and together we are progressing. We all have a vision ahead, and we all have to take Baba's task ahead. We know it's Baba's task, and we need to carry it forward as well. But the Dadis have really found space in the hearts of lakhs and lakhs of Brahmins, haven't they? And probably for a vast majority, meeting the Dadis would have been at a distance, would have been either from they are on stage and we are in the audience, or they are in their meeting rooms and we are still a part of the audience, because we know the meeting rooms of the Dadis also have been growing in size. But still, with the awareness with which we've been sustained has left a deep impression on our hearts. And imagine the stage of Diamond Hall and the three Dadis being on the hall stage together, or even one of them being on the stage, and it carried such a vibration. So we know when we share people the knowledge of the soul, we say that the soul is eternal and the soul is imperishable. And yes, because it's an energy, because I am an energy, I am eternal in that sense. But when I perform actions in the stage of soul consciousness, that action also is equal to being eternal, because we are remembered on and on and on. So it's not because we are doing something outside that these impressions are created in the minds and hearts of people with whom we are working, but it's because what we are doing inside, that this vibration is created in the hearts of the people whom we meet. So soul consciousness in our interactions really helps us to be very, to interact with a lot of authenticity, to interact with a lot of honesty. We have nothing to hide. And at times, probably nothing to share as well, nothing to talk as well. But just being together leaves that impression. So this is how soul consciousness helps us to live with a lot of compassion, with a lot of generosity, with a sense of abundance, and the constant vibration. The vibration of soul conscious actions is always very high. And then when I am soul conscious, this is the way the vibration would help people also uplift. So, well, all our interactions, all our relationships, when they are of that level, then it has a different sense of connectivity altogether. I had once heard about something by one of our seniors, that there are two types of people in the world. And this is very interesting, and it has been interesting for me ever since I've heard it. And I always enjoy sharing this. The idea is that there are two types of people in the world. One, people are happy when they arrive. And the second type of people, where people are happy when they depart, when they leave. So this was quite a striking statement for me the first time that I heard about it, that, oh yeah. And obviously then we go into introspection of which category do I belong. When I am around with people, or when people come to know that I'm going to be around? Is it a welcoming feeling? It's a feeling of joy. Is it a feeling of, wow, we are going to have someone with us? Or are people more happy when I'm not around? Or if they hear about it that, okay, I'm moving away, and they feel, wow, this is a good time. So yeah, two types of people in the world. One, people are happy when they reach. Two, people are happy when they leave. And this has been the core of my evaluation of myself, my analysis of myself, of how I interact with people, and what is my interaction. And this is again where soul conscious really helps us, because the intellect, and especially with knowledge, and certainly we may be number wise, but the intellect of a Brahmin soul is certainly pure. It is certainly very receptive to the vibration of the world around. So the intellect really tells you that this sanskar is appropriate, this is not appropriate, this karma, this action is appropriate, and this one is not. So one thing which I realized is there comes a time where, with understanding knowledge, we try to become more and more judgmental. And as Baba says, the vision of the self becomes weak, and the vision of others tends to become strong along the journey. And gone through this phase, basically, where the vision of others becomes more powerful. We become more analytical of others' behavior once we've understood knowledge. And this should be this, and this should not be this. This kind of tendency tends to develop. He shouldn't have done this. She shouldn't have spoken this. She cannot do this, and all sorts of the ways thoughts can come around in the mind. But still, practicing soul consciousness, developing this habit of being beyond these judgments, taking the intellect beyond these judgments. No, I don't want to be a judge of others. I don't want to use my intellect. I don't want to use my time in something over which I do not have control. And then just being the authentic self that I am helps me to carry that vibration, which, as Baba's recent Avyak Murli, we heard about giving respect to people, staying in the seat of self-respect and giving respect to people. So this becomes then the effort where we are non-judgmental, when we are looking at the soul beyond the role, and not just looking. Looking means also thinking, because when I look at the soul, when I see at the soul, this gives me the strength to not look at this visible, not look at the immediate karma or the immediate word or the immediate decision that the soul has taken, but to look at the authentic, original goodness that lies within each of one as a spiritual being on a human journey. So this is where we train ourselves, we kind of mold ourselves, we kind of self-counsel to look at the soul, to be more spiritual, to be more authentic. And this is where we endear ourselves to other people, with the other souls with whom we are working, so that, at least we can achieve that people are happy when we reach, when we are around in the vibe. So working on the statement, and then the resulting self-effort, self-attention has been a beautiful journey. But as I carried this statement and worked on it over a period of time, I also happened to have a new version of it for myself, where I thought that, yes, it is good. People are happy when we are around. But people should also be happy when we leave. So we leave the world a better place. We leave the campus a better place. We leave the team a better place. We are traveling in a shared mode of transport, and we leave that those people around us with a better feeling. So recently, again, this concept has been emerging and been developing, that we can be more useful when we leave also. Leaving a mark of eternity, leaving a mark of love, just leaving a mark of joy, that it was a pleasure meeting someone, it was pleasure spending time with someone like this. So again, this effort is rooted in soul consciousness, where yes, it is my conscious attention, and especially with those whom we meet in, day out, because that is where a lot of karma tends to happen. We try to get into entanglements. But one practice, myself, the soul, at this point in my eternal journey, whatever I'm doing outside in the world, but I know for myself, it's time to return home. It certainly is time to return home. And all that I'm experiencing as a role currently is merely a game, an opportunity to just refine myself, to unload myself of the excess baggage that I'm carrying, because I will not be able to carry this baggage back home. So in these moments of unloading, I'm really very consciously attentive that I don't need to get entangled in new karma with any soul, whomsoever it is. Don't want any more entanglements. And the soul is so tiny, so tiny, so tiny, that Maya doesn't have a mesh as fine as the soul, and it cannot block my energy. But to be in this state of detachment, of freedom, of not being entangled with anyone whatsoever, I need to be that fine. Because once we move from soul consciousness into body consciousness, then Maya has those webs, those nets, which can tend to capture the soul, to block the soul's energy, and take away its confluence aged moments. So this practice, that I don't want to entangle myself in any new karma with any soul whatsoever, and to make this, to create this freedom for the soul, again, soul consciousness becomes of paramount importance, because only then I am free. Because Maya will test me, but Maya doesn't know that the fine being that I am, she doesn't have anything to just capture me and keep me away from my deeds, which I am focusing on. So yes, being unentangled, being free, but also being of worth to people. So again, this is a subject because we know most of the Brahmins, we are still a part of the global family, and the vibration of the world, we are still a part of that world, the world outside, and we belong to the same world as other souls do. So the vibration, the patterns of living does have an impact. So nowadays, majority of the Brahmin souls also are quite occupied, because physical responsibilities, the Lokik responsibilities, the jobs or the offices or that is quite demanding. We are not separate from that. We are a part of that. So yes, that is quite demanding. And being a Brahmin, we need time for self-progress. We need time for self-upliftment. And again, that takes some of our time. And then now and again, we have opportunities for Baba's Seva. That also takes a lot of our time. So it's certain that there is a lot of demand on the time that I spend with this body. Now, in this challenging times, if I really want to merge my spiritual effort with my profession or with my karma, with the role that I am playing, I need to understand that I don't need separate time to practice soul consciousness. So on one side, on one hand, I'm detached from the world and the people, but simultaneously, I have time to offer help to people around. And this is something which has kind of come to me with a lot of effort and understanding and self-counseling. Otherwise, we tend, oh, I'm busy, I want to, or rather, even we may want to go for meditation. We may want to sit and study the Avyakta Murli. We may want to spend time in my way, the me time that we have. And probably this could be the opportunity where a small gesture of cooperation to a soul around could help me on many blessings. So through the day, looking out for opportunities where we can just spend or just share a little bit of our time with people around in a note of cooperation. So yes, it's not my task, but it's my cooperation to that task. And practicing this has helped me earn a lot many blessings. So though we are busy in the sense that, yes, there is a demand on the time that the soul is spending in this role, but at the same time, to be focused, to be efficient enough to do more tasks in less amount of time, and to be aware that if there is an opportunity where a little bit of my cooperation is going to help another soul and is going to give me a lot of sense of inner joy and contentment, I keep my eyes open for those moments of cooperation. So to be noble enough to give your time for noble efforts, for someone who's just probably sitting next desk. And this sense has also emerged only as the focus has increased, because with increase in focus, we are able to achieve more in less time, and then we create those extra few minutes or maybe a little more than that, where we can be of help to other people as well. So this is the journey of the soul. And this is where soul consciousness colors my action, it flavors my words, and it helps me to live in a completely different vibe altogether, so that I'm more contented. People are more contented even when I leave, not just when I arrive, but also when I leave. So this is the spiritual version, the Brahmin version, that people are happy when we are with them, and people are also happy and contented when we leave from them. And believe me, brothers and sisters and spiritual friends, it takes this little shift of awareness, just a small shift of awareness, and there you are in a completely different angelic kind of world of living, and unentangled, unfazed by whatever is happening outside, but just radiating your light, in fact, God's light in your presence with whomsoever you are working with. One more thing, because all of us have come through these long 63 births of having karma with people. So there will be people around with whom we have unsettled karmic accounts. And when those people, they are like our test points, if we pass there, we've passed the litmus test of life. So we'll all identify souls, and mostly these souls with whom we have more of karmic accounts, they are generally in very close circles. They are very close, near in our day-to-day activities, connected physically, maybe a family or maybe an office colleague, but we work together closely, and those souls tend to be more closer with whom we have the maximum karmic accounts. So we cannot deny the fact that we have unsettled karma through our 63 births. The soul needs to settle it. And one practice which has helped me, like I visualize myself as a soul, and there's another soul with whom I have unsettled karma. So that is also a point, myself also a point. And both the souls, unsettled karma, maybe there could be push and pull in the vibe. There could be unwanted vibes or undesired vibes. We would want to give Shubh Bhavna, Shubh Kamna to one and all. But probably because of the influence of the past karma and the current relationship with the soul, it doesn't be very easy to give that Shubh Bhavna, Shubh Kamna. In this scenario, there's one very beautiful practice which has helped me reconcile relationships or be the spiritual influencer in a relationship, especially where there's this karmic account having its say. So here is myself, the soul, here is the other soul, and a point-to-point connection here. But then one shift of awareness that I am Baba's child. This soul, whether in Gyan or not in Gyan, is also Baba's child. So maybe between myself and that soul, the karmic account is having its say. But then when I elevate my awareness to Baba, then I say, Baba, let first my thought reach you. So I'm not interacting with this soul, so to say. I am interacting with your child. So this direct connection is put to a hold, pause, and it's then rooted through Baba. So in this, Baba acts as a filter. Really, I have had this experience that Baba acts as a filter. So what I say to Baba, or my heart-to-heart communication, my Rurihan with Baba is, Baba, undesiredly also, but there could be some impure feelings that come up for this soul, but I'm no longer in direct connection with this soul. This soul is your child. So first my connection with you and then with this soul. So Baba, if I have any impure feelings, you act as the filter. And may this soul only and only receive pure energy. Likewise, even on the return, even as the energy reciprocates, the same thing. I say, Baba, maybe because of something that I have done in the past, and this soul has not very good memories of the same. In the sanskaras, it is recorded. And maybe that soul is having some impure feelings at this moment. But Baba, your remembrance acts as a safety shield for me. Any energy that is emanating from that soul is filtered through you as it reaches me. So this creates an aura of protection, a light, a ball of protection around me that, okay, I'm connected with Baba, and this soul may have some other feelings, but then it's purified as it travels through Baba to me. I also desiredly or undesiredly, these feelings may emerge, but then Baba, you filter these feelings and may the purest vibe reach the soul, so that even I am able to perform at my original vibe, and may this soul also perform its actions at its own pure original vibe. So this process of disconnecting a direct connection with the soul and having Baba between us, and Baba being the filter, Baba being the guide, Baba being the protector, has really helped me at the spiritual level reconcile relationships, or at least keep myself safe from the influence of any negative energy that may be coming my way. So small practices with big impact, basically. So especially, and this further on, I thought that this should carry on with all the relationships, even with those with whom we have a good syncing, a good collaboration. But again, that can turn into attachment, or that can turn into a dependency. So although maybe I'm sharing a very good, healthy, pure relationship with some soul, but again, there I need to be the same. I don't have any direct connection with this soul. This soul is a child of Baba. Myself is a child of Baba. Whatever good I am feeling now is only because of Baba. And then let my feelings, my good feelings, my pure feelings for the soul also travel through Baba to that soul. So these are small practices, and these small practices have really helped me to be connected with Baba and to be really on a different level altogether as we practice our journey. So these are small aspects of soul consciousness and awareness and implementing Baba's knowledge. And this could be done whilst doing daily chores as well. Once I had Baba's Murli had a point that none of your karma should be sadharan, ordinary. So even if you're doing ordinary karma, sadharan karma, your state, your awareness should be elevated. It was a Sunday and this was the morning Murli, a point from the morning Murli. And before lunch hours, I happened to prepare some salad. So I was peeling the cucumber. And this point of Baba just came to mind that the karma may be visibly ordinary, but your state of awareness should be special. It should be elevated. It should not be ordinary. So I was reminded of this point of Baba. I was doing that preparing salad. And as I was peeling the cucumber, I had this thought that how the cucumber is peeled, so also I am being detached from body consciousness. And as we peel the cucumber, the pulp, the something which is more valuable is revealed. Likewise, as I peel off the body, the consciousness of the body, what is more valuable, what is more authentic is revealed. And this was a very beautiful feeling as I was peeling the cucumber. It was just a practice of what Baba said in the morning and implementing it through the day. But something more beautiful happened. There was an onlooker from a distance, and that person happened to see me doing this task of preparing salad from a distance. And from the distance, that soul had you call it a comment or you call it a remark or an observation. And the soul said, "What are you doing? There's such a beautiful vibe around. Are you just preparing salad or what are you doing?" And I still remember it was just a spontaneous remark or a comment that, "What are you doing?" I mean, it's like you're doing something very special. And I knew the karma was ordinary, but for the moment, it doesn't happen always. We tend to slip. But for that particular moment, I was in a state of heightened awareness. And it was visible. It was visible to someone else as well. So this is something which was very important, that how what's happening deep inside, what's happening beyond vision is still translated into action, and other souls can catch that vibration of being soul conscious. So how much ever well I relate with my karma, with my interactions, with my inner efforts, it has an impact on the outer world. And my connection with Baba will then become the influencer of the impact that my presence will have on the souls around me. So a point-to-point connection with Baba, so much so that this connection is my source of energy. This connection is my source of strength. This connection is my source of something which I fall back on, no matter what happens through the day. And this is the point where I really feel that this state of soul consciousness is actually the state of being an angel. The angelic consciousness, or Baba says angels are someone who are in this world. So this stage of soul consciousness is also the equivalent of something which is like an angel. So I'd once read that angels can fly because they take themselves lightly. And again, it was a Lockic statement. I just happened to read it. They can fly because they take themselves lightly. But then for me, the interpretation was angels can fly because they are light, spiritual light, and in their state of awareness also they are light. So translating soul consciousness into angelic consciousness helps to the effect that it creates those aha moments. It creates those flashes of illumination. So at one day I had a realization, and again this just came like, Baba's gift, just came to the awareness that the subject of angels has also always been very interesting to me, and I like reading about angels. I like reading about or listening about what people have to say within the VK world, certainly not the outside world, about angels. And we've known Anthony Bhai Strano has a lot of work on angels and an entire talk on that. And I've enjoyed listening that again and again. And whilst I was working on the connection between soul consciousness and how when I perform actions in the state of soul consciousness, then it becomes visible in the form of an angelic consciousness. So one deep realization came to mind. What is the difference between a human being and an angel? And something that came to mind was humans leave shadows behind, angels leave behind light. And it was such a profound insight, something which I cherish, revising again and again, and I cherish sharing again and again. And this is probably our task at this point in the cycle of time, leaving behind God's light in the lives of the people whom we touch. Anything we do is secondary. Anything that is our role, our karma is simply secondary. It is basically an opportunity that Brahma has given us to share Baba's light with the souls around. So soul consciousness very gently, very sweetly uplifts us to live in the consciousness of being an angel. So these were a few sharings that I had, and some of the experiences which have been so valuable to me through the journey, and a pleasure sharing with all of you as well. Just going through a few of the comments. Are there any questions or what's it? Okay, some experiences someone has shared. So someone would want to ask any questions, and we could have a few minutes of silence, a few minutes of guided meditation, a few minutes. Yeah, someone wants to ask?
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
You know, this subject of soul consciousness is such a beautiful thing. And being a spiritual seeker myself when I was young, I've read millions of these saints and philosophers who have really gone through this, what I call it as an inner landscape. I've gone through it before I came to the Gyan, and I've enjoyed. But I knew that it takes a kind of effort to reach that stage. But here, when you came down, we come down to the Gyan. Baba made it so easy. I don't need to go to shed a saffron robe to leave my house or to go and sit somewhere. No, I don't need to do. So that's the only different paradigm approach I saw. Otherwise, if you see, the material was the same. It's just viewing everything through a different lens. I have to just change my lens. But one thing which is very important in what Baba's knowledge is, it's not viewing others through my own lens, but I have to polish that lens with the light of God. So viewing that in others, then what happens? All the masks and everything goes down. It's just me. It's just me. We have always practiced this. Suppose this one poem which has always attracted me and taken to soul consciousness is Wordsworth's Daffodils. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over waves. I used to do like that, and go how he looked at the daffodils for me to look after and all. It's nice. I enjoy the journey. I'm not saying no. But my problem is in the second part. You know what's the second part? Okay, as you said, think yourself as an energy, link your energy centers, do all that. So when I'm going inside, nothing from outside, no people should come in that journey. But what happens? Why I am not able to enjoy that aha in me? Because somebody else's oh I have brought within me. I think that is a tussle which all of us go through. So aha is only for a second, I think. And I've tried many methods, so many methods. I close my eyes, I go to the mirror, I do all these running through all these, what we call it as energy centers, the process part. But that aha is something I think very unique. It's beautiful.
The aha moment may come, at specific intervals. But the value of this aha moment is such that we can cherish it for a very long period of time. So yes, we could be in, as we say, because we are not beyond karma as yet. So there could be karma around us. But when we retreat to that point of power within, that place is certainly uninfluenced from all of that which is outside. And this is actually the height of soul consciousness, where I'm actually not the effort maker, but I am seated on that throne of soul consciousness. I'm not making an effort of being soul conscious, but I am soul conscious. Because when I am in my original form, naturally I am uninfluenced. Only God can have his influence, because in that moment I'm connected to one Baba. This is beautiful. So the aha moment will only come at certain intervals, but the more I cherish it and the more I hold on to it and the more I allow it to shape and allow it to give direction to my thoughts further, this is where I make most of the moments of the experiences which I have had.
But can you tell me, sister, how do I see the beauty in others? See, it's very easy for me to recognize myself as a soul. But the real thing, when I go out, Baba says, look at everyone as soul. Let me be very honest. The journey is not easy. For me to see every human being, every plant, every element or everything as a soul. That process, I think, is what is needed. The drill is needed to see you, to see the world, to see even, the beggar on the road, everyone a soul. I think that journey we need now. How do we go about it?
Yeah, so we understood at the level of the intellect, we know that whatever role souls are playing, after all, they are a soul. So what does it mean to understand people as a soul? It is not just, so to say, a very technical fact that, okay, I am a soul, you are a soul. It is the truth. So whatever role the soul may be playing at this point, as you mentioned, maybe a beggar alongside the road or whatever, it could be some very senior person. Let me be uninfluenced by the role, because see, the differences matter when I am in interaction with people. So if suppose I'm working in a corporate culture, I know someone is my colleague, someone is my junior, someone is the boss. These are the roles these souls are playing. But even I need to be within the awareness of the role that is being played by myself and the relationship that this role allows me to have with this particular soul. And I adhere to the moral principles or the moral structure framework of what people expect of me in this role. But then these relationships, like, a beggar on the roll or someone who could be a very supremo person in his role. For me, I have no direct interaction and role with these people. So they may be a multimillionaire or he may be a beggar. But for me, I'm not going to interact with this soul. So in that stage, my vision, how do I translate this into soul consciousness is, okay, this role is being played, but the original vibe of this soul is still the vibe of peace. The original home of this soul is still the home of peace. The original abundance of this soul, if someone is really well-to-do, the original abundance of this soul is still its vibration of love and happiness, which is original innately to this soul. So it's not just technical knowledge, it's a fact. And I have not got to do anything in interaction with this soul. It's just a passerby, passing moment. Let me color it with soul consciousness. Yes, it does take an effort. I agree to that. It doesn't come without effort. But then we enjoy the journey as well, and we enjoy reaching the destination at the same time. So I enjoy the practice of guiding the mind to not be judgmental, guiding the mind to not be influenced, guiding the mind to look at the beauty within myself and within people. And then I enjoy this practice as well, this Purusharth as well. And I enjoy when maybe someday someone would come and I am unfazed. And in the moment, I will not realize, but only after it has passed will I realize that, yeah, I was carrying a vision of soul consciousness in these moments. So that will be the aha moment. So it doesn't come without a prize. It doesn't come without practice. But then the practice itself is very beautiful. And one fine day when you realize that, in this scenario, the practice that I had in the previous scene has allowed me to be natural in this scene, it will help me greatly, immensely.
Thank you, sister, for adding some fuel. I think my journey is still on. I shall go on.
The journey of each one of us to move forward. Wish you all the best.
In the interest of time, I know each one of us have a lot of questions and inquiry, but we invite you to take a short meditation before we close.
Thank you. So again, let the mind focus inside on the beauty that I am. God's creation and God's instrument. God's loving child. In these moments, I move beyond physical identity. And I stabilize. I cherish my eternal identity. The soul, light energy, create and radiate a vibe of love, care, and compassionate support for my world family, connected to the seed of all creation, being one with Baba, I allow God's light to illuminate the world. Let us stay in this awareness. Hold on to it. In deep remembrance of Baba, a sweet connection with Baba, helps me radiate and illuminate the entire world. I cherish these moments of service and these moments of self-awareness. I allow this awareness to be natural, such that I maintain it through all my actions and interactions of the day. The point-to-point connection keeps active. It sustains me. It guides me. It supports me as I gently flow through the ebbs of life. In connection with Baba, I enjoy my journey. I gently return back to the awareness of residing within the body. I prepare myself for action, and I take my seat within the body to express my light and God's light in my actions. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Didi, for taking us through a lot of practical experiences as to how to escape from body consciousness and alter ourselves to being in the soul conscious space for us as well as the whole world around. We look forward to have many more such intoxication sessions with you in the future.
Certainly.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Wish you the same.